If any man dies without having children, his brother must marry his wife and raise up offspring for his brother. Now there were 7 brothers with us. The first married and died, and having no offspring, he left his wife for his brother. The same thing happened with the second and the third, through all 7. Last of all, the woman died. So in the resurrection, of the 7, whose wife will she be? For they all had her as a wife. Matthew 22. 24-28. Drawing on the writings of Moses, which the Sadducees accept, Jesus replies, "Is not this why you are mistaken, because you know neither the Scriptures nor the power of God? For when they rise from the dead, neither do men marry nor are women given in marriage, but they are as angels in the heavens. But concerning the dead being raised up, have you not read in the book of Moses, in the account about the thorn bush, that God said to him, I am the God of Abraham and God of Isaac and God of Jacob. He is a God, not of the dead, but of the living. You are very much mistaken." Mark 12. 24-27. Exodus 3. 1-6. The crowds are astounded by that answer. Jesus has silenced both the Pharisees and the Sadducees, so now a coalition of these religious opposers comes to test him further. One scribe asks, "Teacher, which is the greatest commandment in the law?" Matthew 22. 36. Jesus answers, "The first is, Hear, O Israel, Jehovah our God is one Jehovah, and you must love Jehovah your God with your whole heart and with your whole soul and with your whole mind and with your whole strength. The second is this, you must love your neighbor as yourself. There is no other commandment greater than these." Mark 12. 29-31. At hearing the answer, the scribe responds, "Teacher, you spoke well, in line with truth, he is one, and there is no other besides him. And to love him with one's whole heart, with one's whole understanding, and with one's whole strength, and to love one's neighbor as oneself is worth far more than all the whole burnt offerings and sacrifices." Seeing that the scribe has answered intelligently, Jesus tells him, "You are not far from the kingdom of God." Mark 12. 32-34. For 3 days Nisan 9, 10, and 11 Jesus has been teaching in the temple. Some people, such as this scribe, have listened to him with pleasure. But not the religious leaders, who now lack the courage to question him any more. Caesar's things to Caesar, marriage in the resurrection. The greatest commandments. The Pharisees make what attempt to entrap Jesus, and with what result? When the Sadducees try to ensnare him, how does Jesus foil their attempt? In answering a scribe's question, what does Jesus stress is very important. 108, 251. Religious opposers fail to discredit Jesus or to entrap him on turn him over to the Romans. Luke 20. 20. Now, while still at the temple on Nisan 11, Jesus turns the tables on them and shows his true identity. Taking the initiative, he asks them, "What do you think about the Christ? Whose son is he?" Matthew 22. 42. It is well known that the Christ, or Messiah, is to be in David's line. That is the answer that they give. Matthew 9. 27. 12. 23. John 7. 42. Jesus asks, "How is it, then, that David under inspiration calls him Lord, saying, Jehovah said to my Lord, sit at my right hand until I put your enemies beneath your feet? If, then, David calls him Lord, how is he his son?" Matthew 22. 43-45. The Pharisees remain silent, for they are hoping for a human descendant of David who might liberate them from Roman domination. But drawing on David's words recorded at Psalm 110. 1, 2, Jesus establishes that the Messiah is to be more than a human ruler. He is David's Lord, and after sitting at God's right hand, he will exercise power. Jesus' reply silences his opposers. The disciples and many others have been listening. Now Jesus addresses them, warning about the scribes and the Pharisees. Those men have seated themselves in the seat of Moses to teach God's law. Jesus instructs his listeners. All the things they tell you, do and observe.